Okay, so talking about gamification. So gamification, can anyone give me, your understanding of gamification? What do you think gamification is?
Games are a very interactive interface which engages the user, so they always come back for more. So if you're able to incorporate it into your tech product, then people would more likely use it. Is that the
Precisely.
idea?
So when we talk about tech products, we want the user to spend more time. We want the user to interact more with the product. And Google Pay is a very classic example, right? Google Pay has a lot of, so they've literally introduced games in their platforms, on their platform, and they have gamified the entire process. One very beautiful example is Data Camp. Now, before I show you some pictures, I'll tell you the basic essence of gamification. So, when we apply game design elements and game principles in non-game contexts, that is the definition part, right? And it can be defined as a set of activities and processes to solve problems by using or applying the characteristics of game elements. Because when we use these concepts of game elements, people are more likely to complete a task. And completing a task is essentially the main thing that we want the users to do, right? Clicking on a button, going ahead and completing the checkout process, right? When we talk, for example, Flipkart checkout process, we want the users to breeze through that journey. We want the users to feel at home. We want the users to feel comfortable while doing that. And if we apply game elements, they are motivated to do the next step. So that is, they complete the user journey, right? And they move to the last phase in the user funnel, in the funnels that I displayed, that I discussed previously, which can be either the referral phase or the advocate phase in the funnel, right? So just for reference, the funnel is this. I had displayed the funnel. We had discussed the funnel here. So this is the funnel that I'm talking about. Right? Earlier, they were potential customers. Then the, let's say, Uber or Ola application acquired the customer. Then Uber and Ola engaged and retained the customers. Then they monetized them, and post which they became regular paying customers. Or they moved to the referral phase. They started referring other customers, right? So that is the funnel. So we want the users to complete the funnel essentially. When we talk about Data Camp, so Data Camp is a course website, and online courses are, typically things which people don't complete, and we want the users to complete these courses. So this is a screen of within a Data Camp SQL course, right? If you notice that they have gamified each element, you'll get 50 XP for completing this exercise. And if you take a hint, naturally you should be penalized, right? So you will get minus 15 XP. So if you notice, this platform is the best example of gamification. Um, Another thing that they do is they give instant feedback, right? I mean, they ask for instant feedback. So it displays different kinds of error messages. So for example, you run the code and you get an error here. So they display different kinds of error messages. And once they display that message, it immediately asks for instant customer feedback. Did you find this feedback helpful or not? Right. So that is instant feedback is an example. Then they discourage you from taking hints by awarding minus 10 XP. That is there. I already minus 15 XP actually. And yes, and then little elements of delight. Uh, there are these small elements, right? For example, the light mode and the dark mode. Uh, this is for a video solution, and then they have step instructions are distributed stepwise. Lots of elements, right? So all of that is there. So these little elements. So micro copy is basically detail micro elements of UI. So that is micro copy. That is, these are micro elements within the UI design. All right. So that is gamification. Okay. Does anyone know about the North Star metric? What is the North Star metric? Has anyone come across this term? because this is a commonly used term. Okay. Assuming that this is a new term for everyone. Okay, yes, Vaishnavi.
North Star matrix is an index defined for every website. Like for Flipkart, the metrics can be that how many customers are actually buying. For Zoom, it can be like how many meetings are taking place in a particular time, like let's say a week. So that's
Correct. So basically, you've given examples of NSM. What North Star metric essentially is that it is one metric that leads you to understanding whether your product or your company is becoming successful or not, right? It is a leading indicator for the success of your product. For example, I don't want to show metric examples right away, so I'll delete this for now. So basically, it is that one measurement that is most predictive of a company's long-term success. We want a metric that was, that is the purpose of the entire game, right? That is that one measurement. Um, before, okay, can you give me an example, a new example other than the ones Vaishnavi has covered? What would be the North Star metric for YouTube? This is a commonly asked interview question, by the way. So, what is the North Star metric for YouTube?
People buying premium.
Okay, okay. So what is the goal of YouTube? Let's understand it. Let's again go to now I've already told you that how do we solve a product management question? We go back to the basics and we solve it from scratch. What is the basic purpose of YouTube? Number
Oh,
one, yes.
will it be the number of people clicking on ads?
Okay, number of people clicking on ads. I'll note that. That is not the North Star metric actually, but I want to take all these. I'll write this in the chat box so that I address it together with all the others. Number of people clicking on ads. Okay, I'll write this down so that I take all of these together. So what is the purpose of YouTube? YouTube wants more people to watch videos. YouTube wants people to watch more videos, right? It wants people to interact with the platform, to spend time on the platform, right? That is the main purpose. And essentially, Google as a company, what is the goal of Google as a company? You can even learn this. This is a very standard thing. It can help in questions. It wants to make information more accessible. And why did it buy YouTube? Because YouTube does essentially the same thing. YouTube makes information more accessible. People can learn a lot from YouTube, right? Educational content, entertainment, and all. Everything is there. So the purpose of YouTube is to, we want people to spend more time on the platform, to watch more videos on the platform, right? So the time spent watching videos is the North Star metric. So that is one North Star metric. All these metrics that you've told me, they are, I would not say they are not correct, but they are not the main metric, right? They are good metrics which will help you identify the success of YouTube, but they are not the main metrics. The main one metric is the time spent watching videos. So viewership is the correct one. Yes, Parichय is correct. Number of views. So see, again, let's take an example. Let's say, one video has 1,000 views, but every person just viewed the video for 5 seconds, let's say, or 10 seconds, and then exited the platform. That is not the goal, right? We want the users to watch the entire video. So time spent better captures the success of YouTube. Daily users is again not correct because people might just, log into the platform and then log out. So that is again not the main metric. How many users are liking or disliking the video? That is a good metric, a very good metric for telling whether that video, whether people are interacting with the platform or not. But that is not the North Star metric. Average watch time per user is correct. Yes, how much time? So this is the North Star metric. number of paid ad customers. So number of people buying premium, number of people paying YouTube or paid ad customers, all that is secondary. That directly contributes to the revenue. There's no doubt in that. But that is not the main metric. Main metric is time spent in watching videos. Again, number of videos uploaded is again a good metric, but it is not the main metric because people might upload a lot of videos. But so that is the supply side of the thing, right? What about the demand side? Let's say there were 1,000 videos uploaded each second, but only one video got viewed that day. So we need to look at the overall picture. Watch time is correct. Okay, super chats is relatively new. All right. So an NSM keeps the team focused on improving customer experience. So we want the team to be very focused. If the team changes its focus, right? Let's say when YouTube was built, people focused on one thing, but after 15 years they might change the North Star metric. But we want the team to be very focused, and we want them to stay on the same path from day one, and we want them to focus on the same thing. Let's say it can be revenue, it can be increasing number of viewers, it can be anything of that sort. So we want to stay focused on the primary goal of company growth, and it provides alignment for the whole team or company, right? Everyone knows that, okay, this is the North Star metric. Even the developers and the product managers and the designers and the business people, they'll they'll know that this is the main metric that the team as a whole is working towards. So that is a North Star metric. Companies typically have only one North Star metric, but sometimes different products have different focus metrics or NSMs. Now you can have a separate North Star metric uh, within separate teams, and you can have one North Star metric for the entire company, right? So I'll show you this example, Spotify. What does Spotify want to measure? What does Spotify want to track? So they want to have new artists, right? They want to give recommendations to people. They want to create playlists, and we want to help people discover new songs. So what do we want the users to do? We want to get new artists. We want to show recommendations to the users, create playlists, and discover new songs. So recommendations and new artist notifications bring the users back to the platform. And when we create playlists, when we help users to uh, discover new songs, they spend more time on the platform. So the output metric here, just like YouTube, is also time spent listening to music. This is the North Star metric. Okay, now I'll move to some more examples. Let's take up Facebook. What would be the North Star metric for Facebook? This is a very interesting activity. No answer is incorrect here because I mean there's one North Star metric that the company is focusing on, and if you know the goal of that company very well, then you will correctly identify that metric. It's very easy. But all the metrics that you suggest are correct. They are focus metrics. They might not be the main metric, but they are good metrics.
Identifying content in the post.
Uh, Identifying content.
Yeah, that the user is using, like what is he following and stuff.
So we want more users on the platform, right? And we want more revenue. And whatever you said, that will not directly help us get more people or will not help us increase revenue. That will not directly help us do that. Might indirectly help us bring more users. So better metrics would be, let's say, I have some suggestions. Okay, number of users, number of users of Facebook. Okay, what if many users are inactive? Let's say I have 1 million users, but 500,000 users are inactive. What would be the point of that, right? So that is users is not the main metric. In fact, Vaishnavi, I would want you to, you are thinking along the correct lines. So drill down on users. What type of users does Facebook want to have? What type of users does it want to have, right? Think along those lines. Posts
Ma'am,
per
is the
user.
number of logins per day? Number of logins.
Number of logins. Okay. What if the person logs in and just quickly logs out? right? What if the person logs in and immediately logs out, or spends only 10 seconds on the platform, just sees one post?
Numbers, we can consider number of posts or the photos that are posted every day.
Yes, so I'm moving towards that. GP has also written the same, posts per user. This is again a good metric. Sorry.
చెప్పాను 5 minutes bus.
Okay. Yes, so post per user is a good metric, Garmanchu. But when we talk about post per user, many people might be active on the platform, but they might not post, and they might just like or comment, right? Or they might just share. Sharing is also not there. So like and comment, let's say only. And these are also active users. These are also users which watch those ads on the platform and provide revenue to Facebook. And these are the users that contribute to Facebook's overall revenue, but they do not post. So it is totally possible that users are posting and still not contributing to revenue. Although posts per users, I think would be the second best metric. It would be the second best metric, I would say. Average time spent by each other. Um, Time spent. Okay, let's say the person just opens the platform and you know leaves his laptop and goes away for an entire day, right? So time spent on the person has spent his entire day, like the Facebook feed was open the entire day, but uh, but the user did not interact with the platform. So time spent, or you should ideally say that the time spent by the user interacting with the platform, or clicking on something, scrolling the feed, opening a video, watching that, or posting something, commenting, liking, all of that. So interacting with the platform would be a better metric. Adding Facebook friends. Okay, good metric, but not the North Star metric. Even if I have a lot of friends, I might not be contributing to Facebook's North Star. I mean, Facebook's company goal, which is probably revenue. So, all right, I'll tell you so I have a lot of other similar metrics. The correct metric is number of daily active or number of monthly active users, MAU, right? We can even take DAU, that is the daily active users, but depends, right? Depends on the context. Monthly might be a better case. So it is monthly active users. See, because we want the users to be active on the platform, right? They should log in, of course, first thing, and they should be active. Now, the definition of active is also very, very subjective. It is comprehensive, right? They've defined active properly. And I think what they mean about active here is that the user is interacting with the platform. The person logs on the platform and then spends more than X amount of time. Let's say spends more than 50 seconds on the app. Then I would count the user to be active. So when they define a metric, they are very, very comprehensive about that metric, right? Okay, time spent listening, Spotify, very clear. I should ask one more question. Okay. What is the North Star metric of WhatsApp? What do you think? WhatsApp is the most commonly used app.
Messages sent and received. Number of messages sent and received.
Correct. This is an easy question. So that is correct. Uh, when WhatsApp was launched, again, go back to the initial days when the company was launched or that app was launched. What was the main motive behind launching that app? Go to that and understand always in these kinds of questions, or go to some speeches that you might have heard of Mark Zuckerberg, or in the case of WhatsApp, I think there's Brian was the founder. I'm not sure what his name, but yes, uh, go to that person's speech or that company goal, go to the company goal on their website and look at that, and you'll understand what the North Star metric is. So WhatsApp is a social media messaging platform that wanted to be free forever, and they wanted people to connect with each other across countries in a very seamless manner. That was the goal of WhatsApp. And how is this goal being achieved? When people send messages to each other, they are essentially connecting with each other, right? Irrespective of the country they are in. So they are sending messages to each other, and that is, in a sense, making us reach that goal, making WhatsApp reach that goal, right? Of helping people connect with each other. So number of messages sent is that is why number of messages sent is the North Star metric of WhatsApp. Messages sent is North Star metric. Amazon number of purchases per month. And this is subjective again. This might not be the case for AWS team. This might just be for, let's say, and this might not be the same for Amazon Prime team, right? Might just be for the marketplace team, e-commerce team. And booked nights for Airbnb, how many nights have been booked, right? Oyo would have a similar kind of NSM, number of nights booked, right? Then LinkedIn, again, monthly active users. Quora, number of answers to questions. Now, this is a very, I have seen, in the best of interviews, in the very, like Google interviews, Microsoft PM interviews, they've been asked this question, what is the North Star metric of Quora? And why, of course, why is the main thing, right? So when people answer, that is where the value of that platform is realized. When people question, that is totally possible that 1,000 people are questioning it, but no one is answering. And why would the platform be valuable in that case, right? So we want the users to answer. That is why they've kept the North Star metric as number of answers to questions, not the number of questions that were asked. That is Quora. And Uber rides per week, HubSpot weekly active teams, and Slack daily active users. All right. Okay. So in case of Swiggy, let's say in case of Zepto or Blinkit or Zomato, Swiggy, Instamart, right? We can look at monthly groceries delivered on time. That is the North Star metric, right? How many groceries were delivered on time per month? That is the North Star metric. So how did they arrive at this North Star metric? They wanted to track these KPIs. What is a KPI? It is a key performance indicator. It helps to indicate the performance of a feature or a product. So when we talk about subscription trials or new user activation, we are thinking about new and resurrected users, right? People who were not active earlier but have suddenly become active, or new users. And they also want to track number of items per order. Let's say I order every day, but I just order one item. Versus I order once a month, but whenever I order 100 items together. So that is where number of items per order is a KPI. Number of orders per month per user is also important. Percentage of items delivered on time is extremely important because it is possible that all items are dispatched, but only 10% of them reach the destination, right? So I want to, as a Swiggy product manager or as a Blinkit, which was earlier, or let's say as a Zepto product manager, I need to track all of these metrics. My product should be able to have good health, which means that it should have all these metrics should be good for my product. So I want to cover the breadth, depth, frequency, and efficiency. What is the one metric that captures all of these KPIs, all of these performance indicators? And that metric is monthly groceries delivered on time. That is how product managers, or that is how companies come to the North Star metric. They decide on a North Star metric, right? Any questions till here? This was the concept of North Star metric.